I'm Richard LeBaron. I'm a former State Department ambassador. I've spent a long career in the State Department in many parts of the Middle East and other countries. And I was invited to Detroit by the International Visitors Council to talk about international exchanges, which are a real passion of mine because I think they have a tremendous impact on the people who participate in them. And this group in Detroit, the Visitors Council, is one of the most active and one of the most interesting in the United States. And so it was a real pleasure to be with them and talk about their work and make some suggestions about how we can expand that. Well, the IVC it does two things that are important. It introduces foreigners who participate in international visitor programs. It introduces them to people in Detroit and other municipalities and areas around Detroit. And therefore, those people get to know Americans in various occupations, be they in political life, economic life, business. But there's a two-way street there. The benefits accrue to the people they meet, the Americans who get to meet these excellent participants. And often there are some long-term relationships that develop, either in business, academia, or other areas such as non-governmental organizations. And for the Middle East, the real importance is demonstrating how critical it is to have an active civil society in which people have certain expectations of their governments, they have certain ways to express their desires, and they demand legitimate governments and transparency in their governments. And that's such an important thing, and it's just not present enough in the Middle East. And by example, I think we can have a tremendous influence on helping people to achieve greater legitimacy for their systems and greater transparency. The main point I made to them is that international exchanges are important as a strategic element of U.S. policy, and not just a nice thing to do, but a necessary thing to do for the United States. They really have a huge impact on individuals who participate. They change the environment in which American diplomats do foreign policy because people understand us better once they've seen us at our home, meeting families, meeting peers in the United States, and really getting a good taste of the diversity that marks a place like Detroit and the richness of American life. And so I'm a huge fan of international exchanges. I hope they think of themselves not just as citizen diplomats, but as advocates also for an expansion of international exchanges. I hope they tell their political leaders how important this is. I hope they emphasize to President Obama that expanding exchanges should be part of his legacy. And I look forward to continuing to work in any way I can with this group to support their efforts and to broaden and widen the area of exchanges in Detroit's interest, in the U.S. interest, and the interest of people all over the world.